Hey kids, it's time for another exciting episode of KWJUDAS. What? Thank you all for joining us so much. It is an exciting one we've got here for you. Preston Carlisle on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. I think this is the first time we've had a real shredder. Would you call yourself a shredder? Would you consider yourself a shredder?
Yeah.
He's a shredder, folks.
Yeah, I would definitely consider myself a shredder, for sure.
And if you don't know what that means, we're not referring to the evil villain off of Ninja Turtles. We're talking about somebody who shreds the guitar. To shred would be somebody who is very talented at their guitar technique. How long have you been playing?
18, going on 19 years. This year it will be 19 years, so just about 2 decades now.
Jesus Christ. How old were you when you first started?
15.
15?
Yeah.
So was there anybody or anything that particularly made you want to pick it up?
Yeah. Pantera. I was the song called Domination.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I seen the live music video for that, and when I seen him play the guitar solo.
Right.
And
that's a good one.
Yeah, I was like, it was I'd been listening to metal up until then, you know, and I always liked guitar. I like guitar solos. Like, I remember,
right,
even from a young age, from the time I was like 8, Metallica was like my favorite band, and I really enjoyed Kirk Hammett's guitar solos when I was really young and stuff like that. So, yeah, but then when I seen Dimebag, it was like a completely different level, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's what I want to do. And a couple of my friends were doing it at the time, so I was like, I'll get there someday.
So, how long were you into Metallica until you finally actually were exposed to Pantera?
Probably like almost 8 years. I don't know, 'cause I was.
That's a good long time.
Well, I was kind of blessed in like a metal sense because I grew up. I was able to listen to like metal from a really young age, even heavier stuff than Metallica, even like. I remember, being like 8, 9 years old, and I remember even back then, I remember listening to Death, this other band called Death, and Cannibal Corpse. I remember singing.
That's some heavier shit right there.
Well, yeah,
Death has some amazing bass work. I mean, they get good guitar too, but I'm a little more of a bass player, and yeah, awesome bass. Any death metal band. Cannibal Corpse also has got some really good bass stuff.
Yeah, I like fretless bass players especially. I really love the sound of those.
Oh, yeah. So what? You had a cool older sibling or a cool parents or
Yeah, well, I had an uncle.
an uncle, a cool uncle?
He was a metalhead, and he played guitar as well. But I didn't learn from him. It was like a separate thing. Like
He didn't teach you?
he didn't influence me to pick it up or teach me or anything.
But he still showed you the good music.
Yeah, he showed me the good music.
That is essential. For all you uncles out there, make sure that your nieces and nephews hear the metal. It is your responsibility as a good aunt or uncle. So, me, myself, I kind of got exposed to Pantera and Metallica almost at the same time. And that's kind of why I ask, you know what I mean? Like how long it took for you to, I guess, make that transition, because I had that realization, but it was much quicker. You know, I had a Metallica album, and I heard of Pantera, and I got their live album. So I guess I kind of got into them a little bit later on, probably way after you did.
Yeah.
But Pantera just had the balls that I was looking for, if that makes any sense. I wasn't looking for Phil Anselmo's testicles, but I am told that they are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. Well, they brought me back, like, from I started out listening to heavier stuff early, but before I found Pantera, like, I was still listening, like, not really metal, more like the new metal stuff. I was really into Korn and Mudvayne.
Right.
I was a huge fan. I still do like Mudvayne a lot, but I was really into Korn back then and like Limp Bizkit, and then I seen Pantera, and then it was like over from there. Metal, like, and now I'm just like, you know, it's been 20 years, so, but I love all kinds of metal now.
Right.
And Pantera was kind of like, not really like a gateway band, but they're kind of like, they made it from like something I just liked into like something like kind of like a lifestyle. Like that's what I wanted to be, and not them. And I didn't want to be them, but I wanted to be a metalhead.
Right.
I wanted to pursue heavier music.
You want to actually finally do it yourself.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, let's have another song. You say that none of your songs actually have titles.
No.
None of them?
No.
That's cool. I like that. Preston Carlisle here. KWJUDAS. Free Radio Provo. Preston Carlisle here on KWJUDAS, I presume. That is your real name, is it?
Yeah.
Preston Carlisle. Seems
Yes,
kind of made up to me.
No.
I knew a guy with the last name of Carlisle.
Oh, yeah?
He lived down the street.
Nice.
Kind of fishy.
It is kind of fishy. Smells kind of fishy.
I also knew a guy named Preston. He worked at the bar.
Oh, I know him. I know who you're talking about.
Oh, do ya?
Yeah. Well, there's not a lot of Prestons out there, so like when I meet someone else named Preston, I typically remember him because I'm like, well, there's that other like one in like 10,000 or whatever.
I knew another guy.
Yeah.
He worked at the bar too.
Was his name Preston?
No.
Oh.
But it's awful suspicious, don't you think?
No.
All right, well, I got my eye on you, Sneaky.
No, that was a funny story when I met the bartender Preston, because I was watching one of Berto's shows there at the bar.
Right.
And Berto had gave me these apricot beers, and I had them in the backpack. Like I had all the, like I was the get road gear guy that night, so I was helping him pack in all the gear and stuff. And part of that gear was there was apricot beers in there, so I thought I was being sneaky. But I wasn't. I should have known better. I should have known that if his name was Preston, maybe he's pretty smart. But yeah, he definitely seen me drinking the outside beer in the bar, and I was like, "Come on, bro! Like,
yeah,
your name's Preston, my name's Preston. Like,
you should be able to
Yeah,
let me break the rules because we have the same name, right?"
I was like, "Don't give our name a bad don't give our name a bad look,
Don't give our name a bad look. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, that guy, nothing got past him, man.
He's like, and I don't blame him, he's pretty much telling me, like, I'm insulting his intelligence, but it's not like...
Well, because you kind of are.
But, like, I didn't, like...
If you think about it...
personal against him, I thought it was cool because we have the same name.
Well, also using that is a little bit of a insulting to the intelligence, but as I said, the bartenders know what drinks they've served, and so or they know what drinks they carry. If they don't have that apricot ale there, then immediately they know that's not a beer we serve.
They didn't even carry whatever beer I had in there that night.
Yeah, I learned that. I learned that pretty quick at Bert's Tiki Lounge.
Yeah.
The first band I was in, we thought we were going to be like the ICP of country bands and throw fucking beer all over the crowd instead of Faygo. So I brought a backpack full of fucking beer. It's a band called Devil's Country. And, of course, the fucking bartender, it's a very small bar. I don't know if you ever went to Bert's Tiki Lounge.
No.
Very small bar. And the bartenders, I mean, they can see like everybody in this little bitty shoebox of a room. And, of course, again, they know the beers that they carry, which is not very many beers. I think you could get, like, a can of Pabst. They didn't have anything on tap or anything.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and your beer tickets were good for, like, a can of Pabst. And I'm just like, wow, that's awesome. I even, one time we were playing there, watched them come in with just 2 30-packs. And I'm just like, man, I do that almost every night when I have people over at my house. I could just go grab 2 30-packs.
Right.
But I had natties in my backpack. They weren't Pabst, and they don't serve natties there. So they were immediately like, that's not our fucking beer. Mm-hmm. Oh, and don't throw beer all over our fucking bar. And I'm like, your floors are covered in piss. You can't even go near the bathroom. What are you talking about, Bert?
Well, all bars have like a permanent beer smell anyways. Like, you can't get the smell of beer out of a bar.
I would rather the beer smell than the public urine smell.
Yeah, than bodily fluids for sure.
Most def. So let's have another song, shall we?
Yeah.
This next one is called Turnips in the Grapevine by G Minor Metal 2. KWJUDAS. He's not going to argue with me on that song title. Hey, since you don't have any song titles, can I name your songs?
Yeah.
That song's called Turnips in the Grapevine.
Nice.
This one. I mean, not that one. The last one, I think we came up with a name for. Something about Red Hot Chili Peppers. This one is Turnips in the Grapevine by Preston Carlisle, KWJUDAS, Free Radio Provo. Thank y'all for listening. Preston Carlisle, KWJUDAS Free Radio, Provo. So we were just talking a little bit about how it is that you go about arranging these pieces that we're hearing right now. What you just heard was not, in fact, you recording each one of those instruments individually, correct?
No. What I'll do is it starts as like I'll just get a drum track. Like I'll just like look up like generic drum tracks on YouTube.
Right.
And I'll download those, and I'll write like the rhythm part, and then the lead part, and then depending if it's like a clean song, like some of them, like if it's just like or like a unplugged sounding song, then I won't even use a bass. I'll just use the low string on my 7-string. But on a song like this, instead of using a bass, I would use a octave pedal.
Oh, like cool.
An octave pedal. I think that's what they're called.
So you don't use any bass at all?
No.
Always hating on the bass players. Don't even need one, I guess. Hear that, bassists? Nobody loves us.
Well, I actually, a lot of times my guitar, I tune it to like the lowest string is in bass territory sometimes. Like I tune it to drop E, so like it's a whole octave down from what a normal guitar normally is.
Right, and you've already got a 7-string. What kind of guitar are you playing here for the folks?
A Schecter Demon 7.
And it's covered in pot leaves.
Yeah.
I ain't hating. Speaking of which, we also were talking about some fun stories earlier before we started recording this. I don't know if we want to get into those, but let's have another song before we get into a whole nother subject here, because if we do, we're going to be talking about that for a long time. The next song here, what do you think, John? You want to name the song?
Sure.
What's the name of this next song, John?
Pigments of a lewd behavior.
Pigments of a what?
Pigments of a lewd behavior.
Pigments of a lewd behavior, here on KWJUDAS by Preston Carlisle. Thank you all for listening. All right, boys and girls, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show where we all tell our favorite salvia story. Who wants to go first? John, did you just raise your hand?
Yeah, I'm going to tell a fictional story about a time I did lots of drugs.
All right.
I got really high, and it was so real because I felt like I was going to go to the afterlife. I didn't do enough drugs that night, though, or that afternoon, because apparently I came back to this body.
That's incredible.
Wow.
How about you?
Yeah. Well, it's maybe a toss-up because I've had a bad experience with salvia. I had a bad experience with mushrooms too one time because this other time, I ate mushrooms on the public transportation system in Salt Lake.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I ate like an eighth of mushrooms on the tracks train, and I was riding the bus back to Utah County, and I was trying to make it to like Payson, but I made it to like maybe Orem before I couldn't be on the bus no more. And I went in the gas station, and it was so trippy. It was like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the Truman Show, but everything was black and white except for the potato chips and the Gatorade. And I tried to use the bathroom for like 30 minutes, and I couldn't figure out how to open the bathroom door. Like, it was like this grand puzzle in life. Like, for real, like, this gas station was like one of the biggest adventures of my life. And it was all in black and white. And then I got out, and I was with my brother at the time. And my brother, he wanted to like go like, I don't know what his trip was, but we were not in the same wave frame, nothing. He kept like clenching his fist. It just gave me a bad trip. And then like, yeah.
And that was
about enough of that. But
that was
like it was my best friend he's like my best friend in the world. You know what I mean? Like, I figured out if of all people, I would be able to like be comfortable and trust him. You know, but you just never know. Like, it brings out like weird, like different sides of different people.
That is
true.
You
know what I mean?
So that was on salvia or mushrooms?
That was on mushrooms.
Oh.
But I feel like I felt the same way, like I wasn't in control, like on salvia, except like on salvia, like I lost sense of gravity. Well, like gravity shifted, so like.
Oh yeah.
That was once horizontal was now vertical because it had shifted 90 degrees. So I felt like I was hanging out like of a grass skyscraper, and like looking down the road was like looking down the skyscraper, and I was like trying to grab these sprinkler heads to hold on to, so like to hang on to, because I really did thought I was like gonna fall thousands of like miles of feet to my death. And then once it kind of like once it evened out and like gravity got back to normal, I was still gone. Like, I still wasn't back on planet Earth yet, really, but gravity was there, and I tried like running, but my friends, like, they saved me. So I tried running down the street, like I tried running away from this seaweed that I had smoked.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about salvia that makes you feel like you have to escape.
I don't know. I feel like for me at least, I felt like there was a sense of claustrophobia almost when I was on it.
Yeah?
When I tried it.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I feel like I mentioned I did it a couple of times. You know, the first time I was okay. It wasn't that potent of stuff. The second time was either 40 or 80x. I can't remember. But for those of you who have done it before, you know you have to hit it from a large water pipe usually. And you usually need the extract, not just the leaves, if you want the full effect we're talking about here. You can just smoke the plant and still get a little bit of an effect. I've known a lot of people that have done that. I've never tried it. The extract is what just shoots you out of the top of your brain. And the second time, I mean, you don't even know where you're at. At least I didn't know where I was. And from what I can remember, it was like I was in a whole different room. It was kind of like when you're in a dream where you're in a place that you're familiar with, but you're not familiar with in real life. You just know it from the dream. And I'm looking around, and all of a sudden, everything freezes and turns two-dimensional and breaks into these cubes, and the whole two-dimensional picture actually starts coming at me, and it goes through me. It breaks apart pretty much all of reality, and I can feel it as it's coming at me and going through my body. And then all of a sudden, I'm in another room, and it's another room that I kind of recognize, people that I kind of recognize, and the same thing happens. Everything freezes, goes two-dimensional, and cuts into squares, and then the squares start coming out at me again. And once they hit me, they go through me, and I'm like, like you can feel the shit going through you. And then I'm in like the top of some tower in some castle in London or whatever the fuck, and I'm looking around and I'm having tea in some other fucking room that I don't really recognize, and I'm like Marie Antoinette's sitting across the table from me, and something feels sort of weird. I don't know why, but oh shit, there it goes again. And everything fucking goes two-dimensional and cuts into squares, cuts me into pieces. This happened repeatedly, like 4 or 5 times before I finally sort of kind of started coming back to and coming back into reality. And I was like crouched down like some sort of a fucking abused caged animal. I look around at my fucking brother-in-law and my sister and my friends, and I'm just like, what the fuck did you guys do to me? And they're like, we didn't do anything, man. I was like, what the fuck just happened? You just smoked some salvia. That's it? Yeah. You're sure that's all that happened? Yeah, dude, sit down. And it took me a good while before I trusted anybody in the same fucking room with me, Because it seemed like they were all in on it. They were all kind of laughing, which of course anybody would be after they just watched what you just did, which I didn't know what I just did. So it's a very unsettling, very uncomfortable feeling, folks. I have participated in a lot of these sort of set activities, and that's the only one 3 of the 4 times I've done it were just unsettling,
Judas,
uncomfortable.
you should have videotaped it so you knew who you could trust.
Next time I'm gonna videotape. No, there's not gonna be a next time. I've seen people post YouTubes of themselves on salvia, and I don't want to be that guy. They are pretty amusing to watch, though, especially if you've done salvia before.
I was just pointing out the need of video security tapes.
Right. I wish there was a video security tape the 3rd time I did it. I was convinced that the government had me. They had me strapped to a fucking metal table, and I couldn't move, and they were about to operate on me. And once again, there was a box, a cube, like a square, that had gone through my middle abdomen, but it was going through the table I was strapped to. And so I could feel the fucking box-like laser going through my guts and going through the table, and my guts just slid through the table.
Wow.
In this big, brick of guts and table beneath me. And that's what the government will do to you while you're on salvia, kids. Yep. The moral of this story is don't do salvia with the government.
Yeah, freaky.
Anything you want to say to the kids, Preston?
Yeah, maybe there's some truth to that. I heard that part of the Operation Mind Control. Part of how they pulled that off was with the LSD.
I think the government is behind salvia. They probably created it themselves.
Probably. I heard that they were giving Charles Manson all sorts of LSD so he could, and then that's what helped him form his cult. Was everyone was prying.
Huh.
And
So they
getting it
were
from
funding the LSD.
the CIA was funding the LSD to the Manson clan. The Manson
For
family
what
or whatever.
reason?
Good question.
I mean, you got to have some sort of purpose to back up the theory, right?
There is, but I just don't remember it. I just remember the most shocking part of it all. You know what I mean? No, there's a reason for it. They're trying to. I think that's what the government was trying to do. They're trying to figure out like how to form cults, and they used Manson was like a test subject that they used on him. And same with they think they did the same with they did the same thing to Jack Ruby.
Okay, that's a name I'm not as familiar with.
Well, Jack Ruby's the guy who killed Lee Harvey Oswald, the alleged assassin of JFK.
Okay.
So Jack Ruby killed him, but Jack Ruby could never remember killing Lee Harvey Oswald ever throughout the rest of his life, and a lot of people believe it was the same thing. It was the CIA mind control. I forgot. I can never remember the name of what it's called. Not Operation Mindcrime, but that's Crane's right. But
MK Ultra.
Yeah, MK Ultra. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Jack. That's what I was saying. That Jack Ruby and Charles Manson were possibly both part of MK Ultra, and the way that they took advantage of them was through LSD.
So, I mean, obviously there's a lot of questions you probably can't answer, but say in Charles Manson's case, was he aware that they were facilitating this, or were they doing it without him knowing?
No,
like, did he know that he was part of some bigger experiment?
Well, I think that he maybe knew that he was getting his stuff from like the CIA or like maybe people involved from the government, but I doubt he knew. I mean, even if he did know, would it make a difference?
Not necessarily, but it's just still kind of
I mean, like, when I say would it make a difference, I mean, like, do you think it would change, like, what he would have? I think it would have went the same way either way. Like,
probably.
Because it's very possible he could have known, and that they did push him.
That he was just playing along?
To try to form a clan and to try to be, like, a cult leader, you know, that maybe they did push him to do it.
Or maybe they were in cahoots, and, of course, once he was given whatever they were giving him, he's like, fuck you guys, I'm still going to do my own thing, and maybe that's what got him thrown in prison for the rest of his life. Really, I don't know. I don't know enough about this, and it seems like you do. This guy, folks, has been talking about doing his own podcast, haven't you?
Yeah, I got like a couple of them. I've been wanting to do like some, maybe like an MMA podcast, but yeah, like some. Basically, yeah, podcasts, yeah, maybe short versions, shorter ones.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You showed me some intro stuff you were working for that was mostly crime-related. I liked what you got going on there.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing, like, true crime and, like, unsolved mystery kind of thing.
Yeah, that's always fun.
I don't plan to, get, like, into, like, too much, like, conspiracies or anything. But maybe like some of the true crime ones that maybe have like conspiratorial stuff around them, like Marilyn Manson, like JFK and stuff like that, because they're really cool, really fascinating to get into and like kind of connected in ways. But yeah, so
that is pretty interesting stuff, I think.
Yeah, I really do. I think it's really interesting, and like I actually like to sleep. I like to sleep while I listen to different podcasts and documentaries, things of that nature.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do, actually.
But one thing that I noticed, like, I think a lot of people, in particular, they like to sleep to, like, that genre of stuff, like mysteries and, like, unsolved mysteries kind of thing. And
because they like having spooky dreams.
Yeah, or maybe because it just bores them to sleep. I don't know, but maybe
that could be it too.
Because that's when they're alone in the dark, so they're like in the mood for it. I don't know what it is, but
it's because
I like to hear people talk when I'm going to sleep. I don't really care what it necessarily is about, but yeah, that's part of the goal of it. And so like that, like the intro I'm making, I'm trying to make an intro to where, like, you know, so that doesn't wake people up.
Right.
in between the episodes and
For
stuff
sure.
like that, you know. So I'm trying to make like a sleep friendly podcast that's not like that doesn't bore people and put them to sleep. Basically, is what I'm trying to do.
But that's still sort of the underlying purpose.
Yeah.
Word. I dig it, man. You should let me know when you've got that up and running.
Hopefully next week.
It's going to be that soon?
Yeah, like I got this. I need to write some stuff down. I need to write the transcription down, but I already have like the first like 5 episodes planned out, and like most of the files I need to do them. I have a friend who lives in Texas, and I was going to have him narrate it for me because he has like a bit of an accent with a southern drawl. So I think that might be a little bit like more comforting when people.
I thought you were going to do it. I think you got a pretty good voice for it.
Yeah, I don't think I speak clearly enough, and like I said, I follow a couple of channels similar, and like there's one channel. I think the guy who talks on it's from like Montana or something. But it's not like a redneck accent or nothing. It's just kind of like an old timer kind of thing, like hearing someone's grandpa talk or something. You know, that kind of. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm kind of going for.
Word. Oh hell yeah. Well, we got about 15 minutes left, so you want to do some live guitar noodling?
Yeah.
We got a couple instrumental tracks that we had Preston bring in his axe, and he's going to do some live shredding for us. So you want to do the more reggae one or the more heavier one first?
Reggae.
Let's do the reggae one. All right. This one is Sausage on the Moon by Preston Carlisle. Thank you all for joining us. KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. Thank you all for listening. I think that we got time for probably one more song and one more salvia story. You got one?
I'm out of salvia stories.
Oh, well, shit.
It kind
I
of
guess
scared me.
we can play Tiddlywinks.
Tiddlywinks.
Huh? No?
I don't know what that is.
Nobody ever fucking does. I don't even know why I bother. Fuck, this is like the longest season of KWJUDAS ever, and it's just going to be like 30 more weeks of no Tiddlywinks.
Well, I'm sure someone will have to know, like, eventually. I mean, odds are.
You would think that after, like 6 seasons, somebody would have. But no, I don't think anybody, a single guest, has once been like, yes, let's play Tiddlywinks. They don't even want to learn.
Jacks, like the game with the marbles.
It's similar.
Yeah.
It's like Pogs, but way more awesome.
Oh. Well, maybe I did know what it was once upon a time. I forgot, because that's what comes to mind when you say it is like that Jacks game with the marbles and the glass pieces with the 4 pointy sides. You know what I'm talking about? The Jacks.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if they had like a name. That's what I called them when I was a kid.
I never seen them made out of glass, but ours were always made out of metal because we were old school back when everything was made out of fucking metal.
Well, Tiddlywinks has flat discs.
Flat discs, yes. You can use metal. You can use coins even. You know, when you're standing at a long line at an amusement park looking for some way to kill the time, rather than just whip out your old pocket window, reach into the pocket and grab a fistful of change. Take your shoe off. You can play Tiddlywinks with whatever coins you got in your pocket, kids. Just flip a coin into the shoe with another coin. It's great fun. Want to play?
So you flip a coin into a shoe using another coin? It's like playing quarters?
You don't have to use a shoe, but if you're at a fucking amusement park, you don't have a cup.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You need a really small, very short cup that's low to the ground. A shoe is actually a little bit too high from the ground, but you get the concept. You need something to flip the coin or the disc, the tiddlywink, if you would, because a coin becomes a tiddlywink once it is used as such. And you flip it with another tiddlywink into whichever container you have provided, in which case at Lagoon or Disneyland or Six Flags or Lester's Possum Country, wherever your amusement park of choice.
Adventureland.
A good way to kill time. Just slip off the old shoe.
Adventureland?
Huh?
Pretty sure that's what it was called, Adventureland.
I've never been.
They had a slide, like you know, like the slides like they have like kids playgrounds, but it's like the full barrel. Well, they had one of those that had like a loop, like a roller coaster.
What the fuck?
And it was fucking people up.
You can't do that.
Like it was like, well, they did, and it was a lot of people have broken backs.
I bet. How do you make it all the way through the loop on a slide? No one's gonna have that kind of momentum.
It's very steep. Oh, look, I'll send you some pictures of it later. You'll laugh. You'll get a kick out of it because they're all old school and black and white. But that's not even the tip of the iceberg for that park. I think it's actually called Adventure. I think it's called Adventure Park.
This place still exists?
No, it got shut down in the 70s.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, god damn it!
Yeah, it was too unsafe for the 70s.
It's pretty bad.
I know.
I mean, man, my back is already pretty fucked up, but I figured if there's a slide that can do that, I'm on it. Well, shit. Since we can't go to Adventureland and we don't want to play Tiddlywinks, is there a place people can find your music?
SoundCloud.
Look on SoundCloud, just under Preston Carlisle.
Yeah.
SoundCloud's the best place. All right, kids. SoundCloud it is. Preston Carlisle. You can also find this episode of KWJUDAS on YouTube and Spotify and most of the places that you kids do your podcasting things, as well as, of course, the ever eclectic Free Radio Provo. Send money. Just Venmo Judas H-G-1. I'm kidding. Actually, I'm not. I'm a broke fuck. Preston, you want to take us out with another instrumental?
Yeah.
Okay, we got one more that we're going to play as just a backing track, and he's going to do some live.
I'll name this one. It's called The Pyramids of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. We should have named every fucking song that. Or maybe the album. He's got a lot more music online, and this is the only one with an actual title then.
Yeah. Well, hey, get this. There's a reason for that. Like, there's a saying I once heard. Like, they say, like, songs with lyrics, they already tell a story, but instrumental songs, they don't have lyrics, so you get to write your own story. So they're instrumental songs, like, it's whatever people make of them when they hear it, that's why I never really cared about giving them names. They are what they are.
It's kind of hard naming an instrumental song. Nothing against lyrics or anything, but still. Then you have to tell us what the song's about and stuff, and what if we want the song to be about something else, like pyramids of fucking chicken?
Yeah, exactly.
And when you hear this, you don't even have to think about pyramids of Kentucky Fried Chicken, but it is very deeply suggested. So, here we are without further ado. Preston's going to shred over this pile of Kentucky Fried Chicken for you here on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. Thank you all for tuning in. Oh, come on, Derpin Kid. That all you got?
Gee, Derpin guy. I'm always up for a vigorous game of hungry hippos, but you got me all tired out. I'm winded.
Aw, Derpin Kid, you're wheezing like an asthmatic stepchild. Are you an asthmatic stepchild?
Well, I'm not really a stepchild, but I have had...
I knew it! Phew! And just in time for Derpinchly's new 600 XXX Salvia asthma inhaler.
Wait, were we just being warned about how horrifically mortifying the mind state salvia can induce when you...
Tut. Just keep sucking and hold your breath till you see stars, kid.
What's happening? Oh God! Oh, the government! They hit the button! The fucking world's sideways! Am I dying? Am I dying? Oh, wait! Oh, help! I'm falling off the fucking planet!
Brought to you by Derpinchly. And remember, if it doesn't say Derpin, it's not Derpinchly. All right, thank you all for listening. We're just going to roll right into one last song. This one was a song that you entered into a guitar competition, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
What was the name of the competition?
This was for I don't remember the name. It was for Andy James competition. If I remember, he's a guitar player, and it was like a shred guitar competition, like shred metal kind of thing.
So how did the whole thing work? He just records a track and says, whoever records the best solo over this track wins?
Yeah, everyone gets the same rhythm and the same drum and guitar rhythm, and then whoever records the coolest solo wins.
All right, so this is Preston Carlisle's solo take over an original track. Were you even able to enter the contest?
Yeah, I placed in the top 10.
Hey, hell yeah! Among probably thousands.
Yeah, but I didn't win anything.
Still placing in the top 10.
It felt good. It felt good to accomplish that because I spent a lot of time doing it. You know, I spent a lot of time recording the solo.
Hell yeah!
Like 500 takes.
God damn!
Yeah.
500 takes. All right, well, you deserve to at least have made it to the fucking top 10 here. Thank you all for listening, everybody. This is KWJUDAS, Preston Carlisle. Thank you for joining us. Free Radio Provo. we'd like to thank you all for joining us on another exciting episode of KWJUDAS on Free Radio Provo. We now return you back to your regular free radio programming.